Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Fish.
Mrs. Go Against Traffic. First time in here.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. All right, well, today we're going to start talking about water a little bit. So on recently, Theo was interviewing Cat Williams, and Cat Williams said that demons cannot torment you when you're underwater, and then he likes to go underwater to pray. So Theo, who normally doesn't say some really profound stuff, was like, oh, well, that's probably why you're born in water, is that you can't be tormented as a baby inside your mother. But then it made me think also about baptism, because when you get baptized, you go underwater, and it's a place where they can't get to you. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
It's just cool to
it's
think
just
about.
cool to think about. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really looked into it yet, but it was something that was...
It sure does make sense.
Mm-hmm. And then to take that into the flat earth thing was, we were talking about twinkle, right?
Yeah, we were talking, right.
Yeah.
We were talking about the stars,
Mm-hmm.
firmament,
Mm-hmm.
water above the firmament
And that,
makes the stars twinkle.
right, and that twinkle, the only other time you use that is with an eyeball, right? And so the eyeball, it has to be full of water for it to have the look of when it twinkles. So just making you think maybe there is something to that whole firmament and it being water up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says it all over the Bible.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, so I wanted to go over a verse that I ran across the other day. And to me, it just totally explains like the flat earth theory, the shape, and how we have an ice wall, and that contains the ocean. But this is just cool. It says, and it's it's Proverbs something or another. But anyways, before he made, because I've got it highlighted here, and I took a picture of it, but I don't know. Before he made the world or its fields or any of the dust of the earth, it was there. When he set the heavens in place, when he marked out the horizon on the face of the deep, when he established the clouds above the fixed securely foundations of the deep, when he gave the sea its boundaries, so the water would not overstep his command, and when he marked out the foundation of the earth. But to me, that talks about the ice wall. You know, when he gave the sea its boundaries.
Do you think there's an ice wall?
Absolutely. I think it's at the tangent of and we talked a little bit about this earlier, but the firmament is the top round part of the sphere. We're the center. So the tangent of the sphere is that ice wall. Think about it surrounding us, and then down below
Is the
our
foundations.
flat is the foundations,
Sheol.
but that's where
Sheol,
those angel, the fallen angels went. That's where all the nefarious stuff is.
The Mount Hermon?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I heard Israel took back Mount Hermon.
yeah.
Yeah. But you still can't go up there to where the ancient stuff is, where the angels made their little pact, the fallen angels. There's supposedly a lot of stuff up there that, like in stone, they carved their little pact in stone against God. I don't know. A little off topic, but
I think we need to keep an eye on Bibi. You know what I'm talking about?
Netanyahu.
Netanyahu, he's been in town.
And Trump's talking about doing something with the Gaza Strip.
U.S. is gonna rule it,
Really?
clean it up, and make it actually a good, thriving area. We'll see.
Golly.
I mean, each week something else is coming out. It's like they pushed a button and we're on warp speed moving forward.
So the Gaza Strip, they're just wiping it out so they can then
Make it for good.
He said
like they did in Hawaii.
Well, wiping Well, Hawaii, they didn't disclose, right? They said, oh, everything caught on fire, just like, what we were seeing in California. What happened? All of a sudden, California's out of the news now, right?
It's so weird how that happens.
Because now we have helicopters hitting planes, and we have planes being used as missiles flying into the ground, which coincidentally looked like that Pennsylvania 9/11
The
indention in the ground, if you will. But
So do you think the helicopter that hit the plane was a drone?
I think there's a strong potential. It was
Remote control.
yeah, because they can do that. The Blackhawks can be flown as drones. Also, we've seen multiple people listed as on that helicopter, and I don't know who's going to be revealed as truly being on it next week. But guys, we see stuff. I mean, the shooting in Texas at the school. A news station was doing a story on one dad of a victim, and another news station was doing a story on the same child victim with a totally different dad. Oops. Whoops.
Yep.
We got one guy's a heavyset guy, the other guy's younger and thin. Same kid. Right?
The script was written out, they just didn't follow it.
Right, and so now it's like, how many people did they start pointing to when Trump was, the assassination attempts, right? How many people, were we tracking down?
No, exactly.
Lots of different people.
I don't believe it.
Lots of connections.
He thinks that whole thing was fake.
It totally was. Yeah. It was a great photo shoot, man.
Yes, that's
it's great. And I mean, I hate to say it because, I wouldn't want Trump to be a part of that, but there's some simple-minded people that might have been rallied by that. You know what I mean? They just bought that hook, line, and sinker, and I'm like, it just seemed you do not have Secret Service agents that aren't any bigger than the president of the United States that they're guarding. You don't have these women that look like they're just really bad actors that don't know what they're doing.
And if you're gonna be protecting, you're gonna be on top. Him. How the heck did he get up?
Oh yeah.
And he's
we are just hey, how many of us have heard we're just watching a movie?
Yeah.
And that National Popcorn Day was January 19th, the day before he was inaugurated. And wow, are we seeing some stuff now? I mean, so guess what? All these rabbit holes, I just take it back to Jesus every time. I mean, that is the only rock solid thing we can do.
I know.
You just got to turn to the truth. The Bible.
I'm so flat earth, but I wouldn't be if it wasn't written out in the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so when this is so confrontational to Christians too. Like, you want to talk about a firmament, people get upset. Like, my mom she's all right now. She's getting a lot better, but she just rejected the thought, or it's that space. I'm like.
Yeah, I was worried about it because when he started coming to Bible study, and then we started doing Enoch, and we mentioned a little bit about flat Earth, and then Zach went off about flat Earth that one night. I don't know if you were here.
I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You don't think I'm crazy?" I said, "No. Yeah. I want to hear this because I'm very skeptical."
But there were a lot of people.
Yeah, well, some of the people in the room couldn't believe that he believed in flat Earth, and so he said a few things there, and eventually I wanted him to come back and do a whole Bible study on it, and he just has been too busy. But so then Jason started asking Zach a lot of questions, and then the next thing you know, this dude was...
I'm on it every day, all day, for about a year.
Yeah, I got to get you guys some information that I see, because I like to look at it and just see, and it's presented. There's a few people that I find have some very, very rock solid information. The thing is, I'm not a physics person, so they're talking about
That's so sad. Yeah, they
every
bring out the
every
map.
mile
Mhm.
it should taper off this far, this
8
far,
inches,
this far, whatever.
6 inches per 1 mile. But
And
it can't be. It's not measured. It's
Y'all,
talked about, but it can't be measured.
I've been on an airplane so high over Florida that I saw each coast, the Gulf and the Atlantic.
Mhm.
Pretty flat.
Look, and I mean that's pretty high. Wouldn't you think I would have been able to see roundness?
Mhm.
But think about what we've been taught. Oh, that Columbus, he's like, I'm gonna go and prove that the Earth is not flat, that you're not gonna fall off the edge. The Earth is round. Remember? Remember, we were
It's in
programmed.
the history books.
We were programmed
now, yeah.
in elementary school, where you're supposed to be thinking outside the box
Mhm.
to quickly get into that box. To the point where adults literally are like,
Yeah.
oh, isn't that crazy? And
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's what the
who
people.
closed your mind?
That's what the stupid people back in the day who didn't know nothing. That's what they believed. And now that we have science and we can go up in space and whatever, we know what it's like. Well, that's all whole crap. They knew it was flat back then because of the ancient books that they had read. And when you go back and read ancient books, it leads you more to the
It's
flat
just-
Earth than it does
Yeah.
anything for a sphere or
It's
whatever.
just the devil trying to hide God. That's all it is. And he
and
does it.
the people couldn't read, so they, the
Memorized,
higher ups said, okay, this is what we're going to tell them. The Catholic Church does that. They just like, okay, it took forever for it to be out of Latin.
Speaking of, did you hear what the Pope did recently? He brought a Native American false god into the Vatican during prayer.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
It was an idol. He brought in an idol into the church while they were doing prayers. Yeah, and it's some Native
And
American.
he bowed
yeah.
down to it or something like
I don't
that.
know-
or,
I don't know,
oh,
I
and
didn't-
it supposedly just opened a portal too. They were saying.
Well, the portal thing was they opened a bunch of doors, which was symbolism for opening a portal. I think it had something to do with CERN, but no, it was Mel Gibson who brought it up on.
I love Mel Gibson.
Yeah, he brought it up on what's his name's podcast.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
There's a lot of information out there, and not everything. I mean, I don't know that we'll really know until we're in heaven, right? Are we really going to know? But we have a duty to look and open our minds and our hearts. I mean, love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind, right? And part of that is knowing Him and knowing what He did.
What he
Is
created.
what we,
even.
yeah, it's the greatest and most important command. It is, and having that relationship with Him and following where He's leading us.
My dad says sometimes, well, even if it's true, there's nothing I can do about it, so it doesn't matter. And I would always say, but the truth always matters.
Yeah.
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 In a lot of ways, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't do nothing about changing what people think about flat Earth or these conspiracies or whatever. But it's important to know the truth. And it's always knowing that 10 people are going to tell you you're stupid, but you're always going to pick up on one that says you're talking the truth.
So,
So one verse in the Bible that said that there's nothing new under the sun. There's just another verse, and it just disproves the heliocentric model, which says that we're chasing the sun. The sun's going through an infinite space. There's always something new under the sun. But that verse says that there's not.
Yeah.